Hey, good morning, everyone. Good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Glad to have you with us. Rory is with us as well from the UK. Rory, say hi to everybody.
I am indeed. Hello, everybody. I hope you're doing extremely well today. I know we are doing well here, and we're hoping for yet more awesome to come.
Yeah, more awesome. I am getting on a plane tomorrow, so I'm going to do my show tomorrow. Rory won't make it tomorrow. Rory,
Yeah.
Rory is available on Thursday, but unfortunately, I'm going to be speaking at VS Live, so I'll be in Vegas speaking about the science of great design in Vegas. So I will not do my show on Thursday. So you'll see me basically today, tomorrow, and next Tuesday. I want to do a quick shout out to all the cool kids at Journey School who are watching right now. Just say hello to you guys, and I don't care what Boo says about everybody there. You guys are great. Also, good news in Vegas. I have ordered a giant freaking power supply. This baby gives me the ability to dial in the amps, dial in the voltage, so that when I get back from Vegas, we're going to work on here. Let me close some of this down here so we can just see the most important stuff. We're going to resume work here on our pyrotechnics. Remotely controlled and detonated from the chat room. So we'll get back into that. We've got the relay board here. There it is right there. We've got the nichrome wire that we're going to heat up with that new power supply that we get. And I also, by the way, purchased a digital ohm meter as well. So I'm going to be feeling pretty good about that. Let's kind
Good
of.
to go.
What'd you say?
We're going to be good to go.
Hey, I hope so. I'm anticipating we're going to be getting glowing coils of nichrome and hopefully heating up fast with this power supply. So it's big, and I'm excited about it. Let's kind of bring people up to speed in terms of what we've done on the show, what we're doing today, that sort of thing. I have got around the stream here. You're seeing. Hold on one second. What's up here? This looks like it is Adobe Premiere Pro. I'm playing with a couple ideas in terms of what we do today. Some of the things I'm playing with are, the usual kind of, some of it's a little drudgery here, but since I figure we've got some kids over at the Journey School that are watching, I might switch over to less drudgery stuff. Let me show you what we're working on, a couple things that we're doing here. One is in the live stream, we're building overlays that are putting graphics on top of what you're seeing live here.
You
So,
can see an example of that right now. We've got our CodeRushed logo in the corner. We've got some coins around the edge, and basically all these little extras that add to the live stream. The live stream primarily being Mark's desktop and the webcam pointing at himself.
yeah.
We get these extra pieces around the edge there.
Tico Jax says, you're so cool. Journey loves you. Tico Jax, we love you right back. Like so much, we are almost ready to commit to this relationship and be here 3 days a week. That's our part of that bargain. Almost, but I won't be here. I won't be here later. By the way, folks, at Journey, if you type in the exclamation mark, we shortcut that by saying bang, and then follow that by the word drone, like this, in the chat room, you'll see a drone that'll come out that'll look just like, we'll have your name on it at least. They're Tico Jax or whoever else is out there. So you
get
can
to control the drone as well.
Yeah.
You can move it around the screen, collect the coins, see if you can beat Will Bennett's score.
Now you can see what other
catch
people
as
are.
many as you can.
Yeah, to control the drone, you just type in the first letter of the direction you want to move. So if you want to move to the right, you type in an R. And if you want to go for more than 1 second, you'll type in like R3 or something like that, and that'll move you to the right for 3 seconds. Like you can see that's happening right there. And you can move up or down, the same kind of thing. You can also pass in a fraction of a second as well. You can also drop and throw meteors as well. I think if we type in the drop command, so it's the exclamation mark followed by the word drop, there you can see Rory just caught a meteor
Just timed it.
on top of his drone. And by the way, we built all of this in the live stream. Every single thing that you're seeing was built live in the session. And so now Rory just threw it using the toss command. So we typed in a T, a bang T, and then he typed in the meters per second, X and Y positions of that. So Rory typed in bang T 10, 10, which means it's going to go up at 10 meters per second and to the right at 10 meters per second. Right now we're on planet Earth, but we can change the gravity. Hold on a second. Planet, or I think I just typed in like the name of the planet. So bang Pluto,
Yeah.
I think like this.
Previously,
Uh-oh.
my shot landed roughly around where Tico Jax's drone is. But if I do this now with a different planet in place,
Yeah, look
move
at
to a different planet here,
how slowly things are moving
Then-
now.
then
Yeah.
it will, because of different gravity, it will arrive in an entirely different location, even though I gave exactly the same command.
Yeah, I'm noticing though the planet's not showing up. Normally we have a picture of the planet.
Don't we need to launch first before that'll happen?
Oh yeah, I think you're right. We have to launch. So the logo turns
Yep.
into a spaceship. By the way, I was saying, Brian, did I get your notification? I did not. I'm not sure how you sent that to me, but I will look and find it. I'm so sorry if I missed that from you. Normally I'm not this much of a of somebody who's letting the ball drop, but it sounds like I did it. So there we are. Looks like Pluto over there. Boom, explosions. So those are some of the things that we've built. Also, you can control the main rocket there too by typing in the full command, the full word of the direction you want to go, like right 4, like that, and there it's moving off to the right. So, by the way, you can also spray paint for as you're going around, just by using the exclamation mark and then the color you want. I think that should work. I typed in pink, but I don't see a pink in there. There may be a maroon.
I got a blue.
Why am I not? Why is that not working? My maroon isn't working too. Purple. I know I got purple. There we go. I got a purple right there by mine right up there. So those are like different things you can do. And on top of all of this chaos, we also built a particle. Whoops, sorry, I'm dragging the wrong thing. We also built a particle system. And so, for example, let me just do this. And there you can see right here, using our particle system, we've got some fake blood kind of shooting up. And you can see up above me, there's another particle in orbit. And so we're using like real physics, or at least simulated physics, but using real physics equations to get all this stuff to work. Here's the blue fire effect right here, coming off the top of my head. There's another one, and another one that using particles. So particles can be different sizes, and then we're also creating effects for Dungeons and Dragons live stream. So like say, for example, I get hit pretty badly, it might look like this, where I'm like, whoa, oh man, I got hit again, like that. So it's overlaid blood effects for the Dungeons and Dragons game, as well as things like, say I take a potion, and it goes that kind of a poof right there, for example. And here we go, here's one right over the front of me, like there, I take a potion and it does that. So, that is a little bit of what we got.
Built from scratch, basically.
Yeah, all of it built from scratch. The last thing that I haven't shown you is for the Dungeons and Dragons game. We have this right here. So if I come in and select these different pages here, we'll have effects over the top. Looks like those effects aren't working now, and I'm not sure why. But this is another thing that we built here for it. Let me type in. You give me a doc command. Excellent. And let me also go find, I'm not sure where it is. Let's go ahead and we're going to cut this down. No, I don't think I think there's something else going on is what I think is happening. But I think I can do this to shut it down and then come back over here like this. And there we go. Everything's blown up right there.
Yeah.
Okay. So, all right, now we're back to some kind of quiet here, peace and quiet. So I think that what I'm playing with, since I thought I would do, I was gonna do some more what I'm calling kind of this drudgery, where we're putting together all of this UI to get it to talk, to create these Dungeons and Dragons like things. And I think what I'm gonna do instead is start off with something maybe a little more fun than that, is what I'm thinking about doing. So I'm gonna bring up I'm going to show you how we create some of the assets for what we've got here, and we'll go ahead and live create an asset on here. is what we'll do. Let me move this up a bit here, like this. That's my preview. Bring this up here as well. Can I, like, what is my panel group settings? I'm not sure how. I think I double click this. There's some trick to getting this in here like that. It's a click and drag, I guess. Okay, so there. All right, now I've got that piece there. So I have that, and I have this fireball kind of video over here. I'm going to just drag this over here. We'll kind of look at this video, and you can kind of see what I've got going here. What I want to do is I want to create a flame, the flame effect, that kind of is centered over the player. Right? Imagine we're playing Dungeons & Dragons, and something happens, like maybe they get attacked with flame, or they're on fire, or maybe they've got some other special effect going on. So I want to use this. Let me switch this to fit so we can see the whole thing here, so you can see. So I want to use this, and I essentially want to turn it sideways so it's coming like it's shooting up out of the player. And that's kind of the first thing that I want to do. That's the first thing I want to do. Any update on the incendiaries? Hugo, yeah, I'm going to Vegas to pick up a power supply. I think it's going to, I anticipate we'll be able to blow things up next week when I get back from Vegas. So that's what I think is going to happen. I hope it's going to happen. I'm really looking. Here's your clue. If you see a tweet from me with a picture of the nichrome wire, this baby, and it's all lit up and glowing, if you see that on Twitter, that means that yes, we are good to go, and we're going to be blowing stuff up.
That's secret code to let people know.
That's our secret code. Good, yeah. We're not going to share that.
Nobody will ever figure it out.
No, yeah, no, we're not going to share that with anybody. So there's some other effects in here too that are kind of cool, which I kind of like. They're also very cool, but I think I'm not going to use them because they're kind of cropped off, and I need something that kind of is not so cropped off. So I'm going to take just this first one right there till it ends right there, and I'll just cut it. So step one is I'm going to cut that like there. Step two, I need to rotate it. I also need to check to see if it is, hold on a second, let me grab something to put underneath this. I'm going to just go grab a still that I took from one of our shows, and here's the still right here. So there's one of the portals we built for bringing meteors in, and you can see it's not transparent from here to here. No. But I need to make it transparent. So that's the first thing I'm going to do. So let's go in and we're going to do that. To do that, I'm going to drop in a color key effect on this, and these are the kind of the same kinds of things. Let me maximize this that you would use, in any kind of editing or special effects kind of software. So color key, I'm going to tell it the color I want to remove is black, and I'm going to say let's remove more of it like that. And I think if we just do that, that feels like I got a lot of it out. Let's rotate this thing by 90 degrees. See what we got now. Play it. Okay, not bad. I'm already liking that. I like also the drift a little bit, but I think I'm going to offset that drift. So let's do a couple things here. I'm not liking the dark around the edges. It's a little bit too much for me there. And I think I want to do something else too, though. I'm going to do this in a couple layers here. I just doubled up the layer right here behind me. You can see I've just doubled up that layer there underneath Will Bennett's drone right there. And the back layer, I'm going to drop the color tolerance down. Okay, so it's more like that. And then I'm going to edge feather that a lot, so it's totally blurry and soft like that. And I think I'm going to drop its brightness contrast down so it's super dark. And what's interesting, what's going on here though? It looks like I totally lost it. Oh, hold on. I know what the problem is. The problem is I dropped my brightness contrast down before the color key. I want it after the color key. There we go. Okay, so the brightness is down there, and then I want to drop its opacity down. Oh, but I got to do the opacity as well afterwards. Can I move this down and drag it after color key? Probably not. I have to find another one.
So you're kind of compensating for the fact that there's a black border still in place by turning it into a shadow, which looks more natural. Is that right?
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. Although I'm not able to drop the opacity down without losing my color key, it looks like. And so, and I'm also similarly, does not appear that it's allowing me to bring it up after this, or can we bring it up before? Nope, we cannot really do that. In fact, there's my, yeah, the color key is there. Okay, so just one more double check. Yeah, I can't bring it up higher. Okay, so that means I'm going to have to do a shortcut here, which means I'm going to have to nest this. This will be the background. And come back over here. Now I've got my background. Now I can drop opacity down like that a little bit. So it's like a little bit of a smoky background behind it. Okay, let's come back up here. Let's, we want to trim this off here. I'm going to use some edge thinning. And this is, I think I go much lower than this. I think I want to, let's see how we're doing now. It's not bad. That's a little big right there. I wonder if I can fix that by going into the background on this one. And color key, color tolerance. Let's boost up the color tolerance on this too. And come back out here. And all right. All right, I'm pretty good with that, I think. General in terms of the effect. I think the end effect here, though, I think I want to drop down opacity after we get to right about here, I think. So I'm going to set a keyframe here, starting at 100%, and then down to here, I want it to go to 0. So I'll drop it down to 0 there. Let's see what happens with this. It's not bad. And then the background here as well, we want to do the same thing here with our background color. Set the keyframe there, the background, and then make this one 0 right here. Okay, let's see what we got. I think it's not bad. Okay, so we got a fire effect. So one of the things that that I'm kind of super interested in, Rory, is let me show you something I want to do here. That's kind of a cool effect. I want to come down here and I want to take my color tolerance. I want to increase it even more. My edge thin as well. Let me turn this one off so you can see what's happening on the top layer here. And edge feather. I want to do this.
Okay.
Right here. And then what I want to be able to do is come down here and do like a color balance. Here's what I'm thinking is the effect. Like this. So I have some sort of color balance on one side. See that?
Yeah.
See how magical that looks? Right? All it is I'm just combining two different colors here in the flame. Right? And because of the way we're doing the color tolerance on this.
Now, is that going to affect our ability to do the hue saturation adjustments that we normally do to sort of produce assets of different variety of colors? Post-production.
Yeah, kind of what I want to do is I want to either create a two asset kind of deal where I've got the front and the back, okay, where I can individually set each color. That's I think what I want to do in this. So instead of just having one that we shift the color, I want to have two. One that consists of the background layer that we're going to adjust, and the other is the foreground layer. And we get to select. And so if we choose, the same adjustments for both, it'll all be in the same color. But if we want to do something different like this, which I think is looking kind of cool and magical, right?
It is a nice start point.
Yeah, we can do that. So that's kind of what I want to do. The last thing I need to do here before I generate these is I need to get this. Well, actually, I want to do one more thing. Let's take all of these and let's nest all of these together into we'll call it nested fireball, like that.
Yep.
And I want to make sure that this thing, where it starts and ends, are about the same. So that's what I want to do. I want to animate its position left and right is what I want to do.
Right. So from about halfway through, you're going to have to start moving it left. Is that what you're saying? Just maintain that central sort of location.
Yeah. So here I am at the start, right where it's coming out, right here, underneath the center of the screen, what I believe is the center of the screen. And then I go to here, and I just want to move it back a little bit. And then here, and I want to move it back a little bit. And there, and I just want to move that back a little bit.
It's a really useful screenshot you got there, because aside from anything else, it shows the kind of environment that these things will typically be happening in. But also, as you say, they've got the portal pretty much dead center there to give you a nice reference point for figuring this stuff out.
Yeah. Let's take a look at it here. What does it look like? Boom. So it looks a little unnatural here. I think this is, I just want to move this a little bit. I'm going to give it a little bit of a, and a little bit more of a, move these over a little bit here. So it's just got a, it's a little bit, I can kind of see
Just
what's
a little
happening.
bit at the start is all.
Yeah, I think I want to push these more over here. Let's try again.
Quick message from the chat room.
No, it's
where
not
is Mr. Announcerbot? Is he not active at the moment?
Oh, yeah. Let me get Mr. AnnouncerBot open. Thanks so much. Here we go. And Mr. AnnouncerBot's open.
There we go.
And so is the, whoops, I thought the overlay manager was launching. There we go.
You, and then he's off to another party.
And then,
we're not cool enough for Mr. Announcerbot.
really? That's too bad. So Mr. AnnouncerBot is not here, huh? Let's try one more time. Why isn't Mr. AnnouncerBot here? Oh, I think I know why. Okay, I got it. I know why Mr. AnnouncerBot left. Let's get Mr. AnnouncerBot back in again, because I killed it when I was trying to start up the other one because I didn't realize that I was, okay, Mr. AnnouncerBot should be back in. And that means
Awesome!
There you go, right there.
There we go.
There's Mr. AnnouncerBot. And, okay, so let's see. So where are we? We're here. I've got this. Let's see how it looks now. We'll do the play here. I think that can work.
That's not bad.
Yeah. Right, so there it is right there. So cool little multicolored deal. Now, before we generate, I want to reset both of these colors to red, because red is at hue 0, and I want to be able to consistently move them left or right by whatever kinds of amounts I want to do on the color
X
wheel.
Will change from the default to, let's say, blue or to green
right.
or to something else.
So what I need to do is I need to come in here and take my blue and look for my hue saturation lightness and change this till it's red, right, like that.
Just
and
to
so
explain this to maybe those who haven't seen this before, we have a number of assets, as you've seen us demonstrate, like paint and some of the graphical effects. And what we're trying to do is to make sure that we get one set of assets, one series of images per concept, if you like. And then we have some code for the actual production, the actual animation of these, which will allow us to color shift that singular set of assets across into any color range that we like. So we don't have to have multiple copies of the same thing redone in every color, and that we can actually pick the desired color pretty much from anywhere in the color spectrum, and without any extra overhead in producing it.
Yep, exactly.
So that's our goal.
That's what our goal is. That's what we're going to do. Let's see here. This is the fireball. I think it's this one right here that I want to rename. And we're going to call this, I guess I'll just call it fireball. I like that. And so now I've made these both red. And the last thing I need to do is I need to crop this, because I don't want a giant animation. I only want an animation as big as this. So let's go ahead and do that. So unfortunately, with Adobe Premiere, there aren't great cropping settings. So I kind of have to do some guessing and keep coming in here and doing this. What's going on here, though? Why can't I make a change? What do I need to do here? Editing mode. Let's try custom. There we go. That's what I guess I needed. Okay, so frame size across, that looks to me to be about 600 across, and a height of 1080 for sure. Looks like at least 1080 for the height. So let's go ahead and try that. And let's see if we got enough space. I think it's 800 is really what we want. Okay.
Yeah, it's going to need a little bit more, 700 or 800.
Yeah, let's do that. Go back in sequence settings, and let's make it 800. See what we got. And
Just a little off the side still.
Yeah, but I think I can
But I
move
think we've got the extra
everything.
on the left, haven't we?
Yeah, I think we do have extra on the left. We totally do. Okay, so what I can do, each one of these is here. What I think I'm going to do is I'm going to nest this one more time because it's so much easier. Or alternatively, I think I got a transform effect I can throw on this, another transform. Let me see if I can find that. Transform. So I don't have all these multiple layers. I think that's what I want. There we go. And now we're going to change, let's get right up and about here. Move that over a little bit. Still got to move it, because here's the thing, if it's right near that edge, it'll look at that, we'll see that hard line there. And I think we're going to do that. Boom. That is not bad. It's not over the left edge. I'm going to just take it one more, just a little bit more down over here. Roy's intent on collecting a lot of coins.
Most of it's Will.
Is it?
Will's got more than me. I've only got 28 again.
Really? You don't. I saw the show start and it told me how many you had.
Start, it seemed like loads, but no, something's.
Yeah, you know what I think? Here's the problem. So Will Bennett has got 1,250. Rory's got 1,280. I think what's happening is that we're not connecting with something right now, and that's why it's you. I'm pretty sure you're actually getting the coins. I think, but I'm not 100% sure. We can check that. We'll test that.
Only coins.
We'll test that in a future episode. So I think that might be it. I think we get.
That's looking pretty good. All right, you've got a left board, you've got a right board. There is a slight drift across as time goes on, but it's very slight. It is a nice size for that to happen in. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming that we're going to have these pretty much emanate from the bottom. That's sort of the expectation. So engulfing a player, let's say.
Yep. It's going to do that. And it'll be 2-color, which will be cool. Yeah. All right. So there, I'm just going through every single frame of this to make sure we got enough space. We're not going to crop anything off as it gets to the edge. There might be some cropping there.
Just retreating even more, though. I think that's good.
All right. Roy thinks it's good. And then what's the ending? The last one is there. There. I'm going to crop from I'm going to just delete the end too, so we have as very little as possible. Now I'm going to hide this. I'm going to go inside of here. I'm going to hide the top layer and only do the bottom 2 layers. So we're going to generate one of these fireballs as the background. So this is the background fireball right here. So let's go ahead and generate that. And let me get to the right screen, where I want to put this. Loading, going into my source code, Mr. Announcer Bot. Here, I'll bring this up here so you can see where I'm going. I think it's in the overlay manager in www.root, game dev. Assets. We're going to put this in the Dragon Age folder. And I don't have anything here that says flame yet. Let's create a new folder called Fireball, maybe. Fireball, like that. Let's go inside there. We're going to create a new folder, I think, called Background. Background. Or back. Like that. And then we're going to say, come over here and do back fireball is what we'll call this over here. But I just realized we want to change our export, not to AVI, but we want to go out to PNG, PNG file format. So it's got a transparency on it. And it's called it backfireball.png. It's in the right folder. Feel good about all of that. And let's hit export on that. Hey, Brian's here. I'm dying to know what I missed, Brian. I'm sure it was important and critical and like time sensitive. All right, so now we're going to go back into the nested fireball. We're going to turn on the foreground and turn off the background and this background shadow. So then we've just got this foreground nested fireball on this piece right here. And let's come back over here to here, actually, right here. And we're going to generate this part right here. Okay, so do the same thing. Come in here. And this time we're going to go to a different folder. So here's what we created before. Kind of cool.
Yep.
Looks good. Let's go back in here, create a new folder here called foreground, I guess. Front.
Some people might be wondering why we create a whole series of images rather than just sticking with a video. And part of the answer, at least, is again this color shifting facility that we get. But the other part is that we have several sequences which aren't just a natural loop, like sort of a GIF or a start and finish. Some of them start at sort of point 0, carry on halfway through, and then maybe loop back to a midpoint, and then just settle into a nice routine. So it's not just a standard video necessarily. And having so many frames that we can independently control like this gives us that extra bit of information.
Look what I just dropped, Rory. Sorry to interrupt you, but I just dropped a seed. The seed grows, and then the flowers wave. The growth and the waving are all part of the animation, but we basically say, okay, here's the part where they start waving, so they grow, and then we cycle back. So we show all the frames to show them grow, and then we are in a loop of the last part. So it's kind of cool. Okay, so let's see. We've generated now our assets. Let's go in and load them up. So we'll close this up. We'll start working with some code. So we're going to go into some TypeScript. So I promised we would work on, in advertising the show, I said it would be WPF, and then I decided we've changed that. So we're going to change all that, and we'll look at the...
That happens sometimes.
That happens sometimes. Yeah, it happens sometimes. Okay, so we want to go into the Dragon game is what I think this is. The Dragon front game. So this is what draws, is in charge of drawing the overlays on top of us. That's what's going to draw that's what draws the blood effect.
Let's make this code dance.
Yeah, let's make this code dance. I agree, Mr. Announcer guy. And so we want to work in this space right here. And one of the things we want to do is we want to load up those assets that we just generated. And let's see, where are those assets going to be? What's the fastest way in? I think the fastest way in to see those assets is to actually come over here, click this, and then copy this folder name right here, right like that. Oh, interesting. Look at this. We go at frame 61, we're done. Frame 0, nothing too. Interesting. I think I'm going to keep them all so that they stay in sync, but interesting. The black means there was nothing, no imagery yet, and it's completely transparent. Okay, so let's see what I got here. Let's go open up the folder. So here's what we were just looking at here. So this is the front, and here's the back, right like that. So the back is there as well. So, and they're both changed to red. So we want to load up these assets here. So let's cancel this and close this down, and let's load up the assets. So let's go look at dense smoke where we've declared that. It's just of type sprite. So let's declare something here called fireball. Fireball back and fireball front. Like that. Okay, and we've got both of those. And let's see where dense smoke is. So we've got dense smoke here. And let's duplicate this, this code right here. And to fireball back, we're going to have to figure all of this path out here. Let's figure out all of these pieces right here. And we got to figure out origin X and Y. So let's look at all of these. This is in, I think, fireball. back, fireball back. Did I get that right? Let's look at that. Fireball back,
And then the actual file name
fire,
is back
back
fireball.
fireball. Okay, do that. And this right here is the expected frame count. So we start at 0
63.
and go to 88.
88.
Go to 87, so it's going to be 88. We're going to say 30 frames per second. It's sequential, and true at the end means it's going to pad with zeros, the file index with zeros. So that means if I say go load number 2, it's going to add a 0 to it right there if it sees that there are 87 of these. It'll give me the right number of zeros. So that's just a feature we added to make it easy to export like our video assets. The origin X and Y, that's where this thing fires up from. And so what we want to do is I'm going to load this up into an image editor. And I am going to, I'll drag that onto the main screen so you can see that here in a second.
So that's because some images, we would like to have the image appear to the bottom right of where we tell it is the origin. Some we'd like for them to have equal spacing around, so it literally span to the left, to the right, up and down. And I guess in some cases we want it to emerge from the bottom. Is this one of those?
Well,
what's your sort of intention here?
What I'm going to do, when I say the origin, when I tell the sprite to be at a certain place, it'll adjust by this number I set right now, whatever that origin is. And so if I look at the bottom right of my screen, which you see the numbers right to my lower right here, real tiny, but it's 171 by 1069 is about where I want to be for that. So so let's see. Look at this. Let's make it 190 by 1080. We'll do that. 190 by 1080 is what we'll do. So this will be 190, and this will be 1080. And so now if I add something if I add a fireball, it will it'll go in that location, in that particular location. Let's create another set of these, and this is going to be the fireball front, like this. And that's probably going to be, change the word front, and so is, I think, that.
That would seem right.
Let's go double check both of those. There's the back, there's the front. Fireball front is what it's called. Look at that inconsistency. However, there's going to be 88 of these as well. Yep, there's the 88 right there. And we want to call this fireball front, like this. So at least get consistency here and here. And we're going to use the same origin, X and Y origins for those two. It looks like we've already copied those. Okay, so there's my fireball back, my fireball front. Let's see what else is going on with dense smoke. Where else are we working with this? Alleffects.add. Well, I guess we got to add the... we got to add these as well here. So let's do that. Fireball back, fireball front. And we've got those two. Where else are we seeing this? This is where we're actually adding smoke right here. This is happening in a test command. Let's add a new test command here. And we'll do this. We'll create this so we won't have to worry about the UI and stuff like that. So we're going to call this FB for fireball. And what's going on with this? Oh, interesting. So these are hue, saturation, and lightnesses for one of them, but not the other, is what you could argue here. I'm going to twist only the front and keep the back is what I think I'm going to do. So let's go in here. We're going to say this dot fireball back, new color shifting sprite proxy, and we're going to say this dot fireball front. Use the origins right there for that, both of those. Use the origins to offset that. And there's one. And then let's come in and say fireball back. We're going to do the same thing like that. And we want to, those origins are the same for both of those. But in case they change, I don't think they will, like that. And this one is, I do not want it to be a color shifting sprite proxy. I just want it to be a sprite proxy.
Sure.
Like that, I think, is what I want to do. So we'll see.
So there's a huge saturation, the stuff that we don't need to set at the end.
Yeah, that might be all we need to do right there. Is that it? New sprite proxy. What's it say is my error? Expected 3 or 4 arguments, but got 2. Oh, I think the sprite proxy hasn't been changed yet. It does not take
That's
a
right.
vector.
Don't recognize vectors as yet.
Yeah, okay. So I think that's going to be it. So now I've got my fireball back and my fireball front. And those I'm now feeding in the locations with that. And
Okay.
I think because, let's just double check, make sure. This is for when something is coming across. This is triggering animation remotely. So we're not doing that yet. And I think that's
background to the definition. So that
yeah.
could be it. Everything necessary for at least the test command.
Yeah, the only thing is the question in my mind is which of these go first? Because I think it's going to draw these in the order in which they're added. So it's going to draw the back one and then the front. I think we're okay and good.
That sounds good, yeah.
But we will see. So with that said, the question is, should I run or should I simply refresh and test in here? I think I'm going to refresh and test in the stream and see if that works. And see what's going on there. So now we're loading up more of those images out there. So my load time is going to be longer. So right now across the bottom and over on the right side, you can see scroll bars. That means the overlay is loading right now. And so we are waiting for those new assets to be loaded up. I might have to, I almost feel like it's not going to work. Okay, just set it finished. And now we can do a test FB. Do we have anything? Whoa! Okay, not bad, but yeah, I didn't see any difference in color. Oh, I know why, because I didn't pass it anything else in. So test FB, and then I'm going to pass in a hue change of 220, and is that all I need to do? That may be all I need to do. Let's see how that works.
I think it works with any
There we go.
variation, so yeah.
Look at that. Here, let's do a 330.
That
Boom.
is nice.
330 was not as exciting because I think it's too close. Let's do 180. Nice. So we've got the red and yeah. So
Green and
I liked Will's better.
I love
Better.
those.
He did the 4 right there. So you've got you do the 40 or maybe even the 60, and
So
we
that
get
basically
some.
proves our point from earlier. We've basically rendered one set of assets, in this case a front and a back, but because of our ability to dynamically change the color, to shift the hue of the image in a given direction by a certain quantity, we can have any color variation we like.
Yeah.
And we haven't had to build this thing again and again and again and load in 10, 15, 20 separate sets of the same thing. So we keep the amount of memory being used by this relatively low.
Yeah.
There are places where we haven't used this technique yet. The paint, I think, is the obvious one there with the paint drips. But we can certainly go back and fix that at some stage. And yeah, it's just a nice technique to give ourselves a bit of extra flexibility.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. That's so cool. Yeah. Okay. So I just got to copy that and see that one more time. I really like that last one. That was kind of purple and red. Kind of cool. All right. So we got that. That's cool. Let's go in and let's start doing a little bit of UI changing over here. So over here in the DHDM application, we have got our, actually, I think I did move some stuff around a bit. I ran into a really weird error with Visual Studio, Rory, where it was compiling, running, fine. But it was telling me that there were errors in, and even IntelliSense was working in the XAML. But it was telling me that there were errors in the XAML. And I found a Stack Overflow page. It had like 20 different suggestions. I followed every single suggestion and still hit a dead end until the last suggestion, which is essentially take those things and move them out into another project. So I created a new project called D&D UI, moved everything across, and now the error is gone. But I tried
That's
Oh.
an extreme move, isn't it?
Yeah, it was. I was like, I spent easily hours trying to figure out how to solve this problem, and dead end, dead end, dead end. So anyway, over here I've got my user controls, and in here I think we've got our effects editor, effect builder. Here it is right here, and inside the effect builder, somewhere down in here, let's go look for the word collapsed. Collapsed. This is our scroll target. That's not what we're worrying about. Skill items. Wait, what is this? Equipment items. Nope. What's this one? Emitter options. Let's make this visible for a second so we can see it. Oh wait, not emitter options. No, wait, hold on. Hold on. I actually just realized the pieces I want are here. Right here. I want a secondary one of these right here, which is going to be SP. I'm going to call it secondary animation color shift, and make this secondary as well for each of those three pieces right here. And we're going to call this, just changing this right here.
So for anyone who's maybe not been following us for a little while, what we're doing here is we're building what you might think of as a kind of a command and control center for the designing of effects that are going to be present in another of Mark's streams, Dungeons and Dragons game, wherein players will face dragons and all manner of other things. And as you can tell from the effects that we've been creating on screen, there's a great many that will be a very large amount of use for that. Now, every one of those effects that we're creating has, as you've seen, the ability to have its color shifted. So as you can see, Mark is designing some UI for this application, which will allow the Dungeon Master, or indeed somebody who's building effects for the Dungeon Master, to specify things in advance. So to make a particular effect, let's have some smoke, but let's have blue smoke, and let's make sure that there are some sparks afterwards, that kind of thing, so that they can be pressed into use during the stream at that later point and signaled to the stream to effectively emit those effects at that time. So this is designed to make it easy to create combinations of effects effectively.
Yeah.
Does that make any sense, Mark?
You totally. Yeah. No, you got us. It's awesome. I'm just going to create a new radio button out here. Call it RB Fireball, like this. And when it's checked, we're going to add a new, hold on, before I get there, let's add the fireball here. Fireball, like that. And the checked, let's add a new event handler for it. RB Fireball checked. Let's go see what this one is doing right here. Let's jump into that. Heart checked. Got some other code that's going to be interesting to bring over to it. So let's go back over in here. Let's jump to, oops, this one. And let's, so if the Ember selector is not null, then Ember selector visibility is collapsed. And if the blood selector is out there, then as well, we're going to do that. Then we want to see if the SP secondary animation color shift options is not null. If that's the case, then we want to set its visibility equal to visibility.visible. Like that. So that's going to make it visible when we click on Fireball. And when we click on anything else, we want to essentially make it invisible, is what we want to do. So let's go back over here. Let's drill into some of these others here. Let's go into heart here. I am feeling almost the need to let's see what else we got here. See how bad this gets. I'm not quite refactoring yet, but I'm copying and pasting a fair amount of code here, and I think I want all of these to be like collapse specials, is what I want to call this. Extract method. We're going to call this collapse. Oops. Collapse. I'll get it. Specials.
It's very common to feel that way as well. You do something once, you think, yeah, that's fine. A second time, you have to copy it. You think, well, I'm not really happy with that, but the amount of time it might take me to build a specialist process for this outweighs it a lot. By the time you're doing it for the third time, it feels like you're increasing the maintenance you're going to have to do on this code later on. When something changes, I don't want to have to change the 3 places. Maybe now is the time.
Yeah. All right, so there's collapse specials there. I cannot really call it here because the blood splatter, I think what I need to do is this, like that, and then only do the visible part of it here. So we're going to say collapse specials, do the same thing here. And then that's making me feel a little bit better about what's going on with the code here. Collapse specials there, collapse specials here. And now I'm happier, code is better.
And each time you come back to this code, you're not going to have to spend that extra sort of mental runtime on figuring out, is this correct? You've just got that thing, oh, it calls collapse specials. I know that's good. We'll be fine.
Yeah, I think we're going to be okay. And so that means, let's see, is there anything else in here that we need to worry about? There's collapse specials there. And we need to go down here. Heart check. This one is going to go to collapse specials as well. And then here we're going to say collapse specials and do this right here. How do I make a ship collect coins, a spider hunter? And so there you go. Yeah, I think you just figured it out.
We're giving manual instructions here in the chat room.
Nice.
We're demonstrating because we're okay at that apparently.
Excellent. No, good job. I love it. Okay, so all right. So now I think when Fireball is checked, we're going to call collapse specials, and then we're going to open up and show the secondary animation color shift options. Next, we need to go find the Ned, I think it was hue, adjust hue. Here it is right here. So here's the new animation effect. And let's go look at that, because we need to add the ability to do a secondary hue adjust on this is what we need to do. So I'm going to now take this, let's duplicate all of this, and we'll call this secondary, like that, hue shift, and secondary saturation, and secondary brightness as well. And I think all of these are going to be, we'll say it's equal to 0, we'll say that's equal, the saturation is equal to 100, and the brightness equal to 100. So we'll do that. All right, and so now what we can do is when we create our animation effect, we can specify the secondary piece inside of here. So get animation effect is right here. Hold on, let's see what this effect builder is. Get animation effect, new animation effect, get animation name. We need to check some stuff here as well. We need to add some code here because we don't want it to come back. So we're going to say if RB fireball is checked, then we're going to pass in the fireball, which is a special kind, which has the 2 different color shifts. So when it comes in, we'll figure out the right name of which animations to modify, and we'll play with the color shift as well. So we've got those. We need to go find, let's go back to looking for Ned adjust hue. Let's see where else that shows up. Here we go. Animation effect. Let's go look at animation effect, because that's a low-level class, and we need also animation effect to be able to have, oh, we already did it. Good, we've got the secondary hue shift. Beautiful, we already added it. Okay, so I'm going to copy this. Let's just duplicate it. And Ned, I think it's, did I just call it secondary? I hope I did. Yes, the answer is yes, I did. Okay. And secondary hue shift. There it is, to string. This one's going to be Ned secondary adjust brightness, and this one's going to be the secondary brightness.
Miller!
What you got for me? Need more coins. Wow. Fine. More coins on the way. Yeah, that right there, by the way, I think we need to spend some time getting the... Here we go, secondary saturation. Okay, so we've got those pieces right there.
Sorted. That's good.
Right, okay, so there's the load from animation there. Let's see where else net adjust hue shows up. It's in the opposite of this. By the way, Rory, I totally, you know what I'm asking for, right? I want swap. I want to be able to use the CodeRushed feature that's I can do in C# I can't do here. Value is
Selection
double.
inversion.
Yeah, selection inversion, I think, is what I want. You might
I'll pen a little missive.
you might pen a little missive, as we say in the business. Value is double right there, and then this one here. Bring it over here, and change that to value as double. Okay, right there. I don't see the drones. Did it too soon? Oh, okay, there you go. Yeah, all right. Yeah, we need to wait till the overlay's loaded before the drones will work. Okay, so there's that piece right there. So we've got our secondary values are coming across. I'm happy with that. Where else? No, we've got a hue property here in Effect Builder. Where is that used? Nowhere else. Interesting. Okay, I just have this so that I can work with it at design time in the XAML. So that, I think, is what's going on there. All right. I want to see if I can turn down the... Do I have any option on the sound? It looks like I don't on that. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to dock that baby. You feel free to bring another drone out, guys. You can do that, but But if you bring the rocket out, I've decided it distracts me enough. I'm gonna dock it.
The rocket is somewhat loud.
Yeah, it's loud in my. I gotta drop the volume.
It takes a lot of energy to keep it in the air. That's why it is. The thrusters have to be big.
It does make sense when you think about the physics of it. All right. What do we got here? I think we're good. Let's see where else this shows up. That's where I am. Nope, I don't care about that. And I think we're good. I think we're good. I think we're good. I think we are good. So the last thing we have to do is here is get animation effect. And I want to modify this is what I want to do. I want to say declare local and call that animation effect. But then I want to ask the question, hey, if RB fireball dot is checked, right? Then we have this special scenario here where we want to come in and modify this and come in and say animation effect dot secondary, come on, secondary hue shift is equal to ned secondary adjust hue dot value is double. Duplicate that line, come down here, take it to saturation, shift, secondary adjust saturation, value is double. What I should have done is just selected saturation. I should have selected hue in both sides using
Duplicate.
that feature right there, but okay. And then this last one is going to be brightness. Shift. Like that. Values double. Secondary, what did I, oh, it's just saturation, not shift.
Oh, yeah.
I think. Secondary brightness. Yep. Okay. And then we return it. So I think that's what we need on this side. Fireball comes across there. Now on the other side, I think the rest we can just write ourselves. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shut down the stuff that's running. I'm shutting down Mr. Announcer Bot. I'm going to shut down the overlay manager, and I'm going to come in and we're going to let's kill every instance of Chrome that might be still running that's out there. We've done that, and let's start and we will debug, and we will see how this works. See if we can actually create fireballs and see what's going on. No, it says Will. Did not get that out in time, Will. So sorry. Okay, let's go back, change my view as well, so it's not using the overlay. And here things are starting to come up and load up. Let's look over here first. Go into effects, and there's the fireball. It's off the screen. Can I bring it in a little bit? Oh, I have a hard-coded size here, but that's the fireball. And there we can see the additional
And there we
piece
go, the
is
pieces we
happening
need.
right
Yep.
there. Okay, good so far. Let's figure out, let me move the, I'm pretty sure the fireball happens on the dragon overlay, but before we go there, we need to figure out, it's this trigger animation piece right here. This is where we need to be. Let's see, which column do I need? Why can't I? Okay, it's not a, it's a let right here. JavaScript debugging is disabled. Enable JavaScript debugging will stop and restart. Okay, fine. Can I click away? Continue debugging. Interesting. Okay, so I need to do that, enabling, but I don't actually want to stop and restart. So instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this. I'm going to type in CL to get a console log out here, and I'm going to put in the sprite name, and we're going to pass that out and see what comes in here, like this. So DTO stands for our data transfer object that's coming in, and I'm just going to console log that. Now I'm going to come over here, and I don't think it's on this page, but I think it's on the Dragon overlay. I thought it was. Why is it not filling that out at all anywhere beyond that? I think it's Dragon overlay. I'm just going to type that in. Overlay. Let's see what happens. No, it's not the Dragon overlay. What is it?
This is Dragon front page.
Something
like that?
That might be it. I'm just totally forgetting it. I need to go into
either way, I'd have expected that to autocomplete as well from Dragon.
Yeah, it's a little bizarre to me. I'm not sure why. Pages, Dragon front overlay. So let's try Dragon front overlay. There we go. So now we got something loading. And now if I come in and say inspect to bring up the console right here, and then if I switch back over here and I say test effect, I'm expecting, let's see what's happening. Sprite name is Fireball. Good. Cannot read property sprites of undefined though. Sprites effect dot start. Oh, because it's undefined. I think that's because we don't know, we don't have any code running here yet. So let's go ahead and figure that part out. I'm going to comment this out. And I'm going to do this and say if it's equal to Fireball, like that. Then we're going to say this is equal to our Fireball back. Then I'm going to come down after we do this. We set up the sprites effect and call start on it. Then I'm going to come down here and I'm going to say if it's equal to Fireball. Then
I did wonder how you were going to do that. It's the first animation where we've had two things simultaneously, literally at one time.
Yep.
So yeah, I guess that's a pretty good way to start that.
It's not bad. I got you covered here. All right. So we're going to say sprites is equal to Fireball front. And then in here, we're going to go in the DTOs. And I believe this is going to be called secondary hue shift right here like this. And this one's going to be called secondary saturation. And this one is going to be called secondary brightness. Pretty sure.
Yeah.
And then we're going to start that. That might be all we need to do. Let's go back in over here. We're going to do a refresh. Let's come over here and choose test effect. Whoops, not what I wanted to do. I just wanted this up. Like that. Comes test effect. Okay. Cool. Now let's change the color. We can close this down. Let's do a hue saturation of like about 40 on one of these and just try it. And let's do the other one of 220 and try it. I think that's working. Let's increase the brightness of this one to, let's make it 200 on this one. So the background is yellow. This is the background. Let's switch these around. Let's make this 220. And let's make that brightness be, keep that at 100%. We're about there. And let's change this brightness to 200 and change that to like 45 and test the effect. Yeah, that's not bad.
That's not bad at all.
I'm going to bump that up to 150, make that a little brighter in the background. Okay, fine. I'm going to take it all the way to 200 brightness. Yeah, I love it. I'm pretty happy with that. Let's add something because we haven't added this yet. So we're just kind of, let's add it as a the fireball. We'll call this the fireball effect, like this. And it's over here. And we'll do the same value as the background. We'll make to 220 and make that brighter. And let's this hue adjust. Let's go to 330. Make it a little pinker. Yeah, cool. I like it. I like it. That also means that if we switch over here and come back, we should be able to test it here on the live stream as well.
Yeah.
And see if that works after that loads. There we go. Excellent. That's
I think
awesome.
we have to declare flawless victory.
Yeah, don't you love it when that happens? Let's
Yeah.
hold on a second. Screen position. Let's do active player, but let's say 400 across. It's almost right over me here. Maybe 300. Test the effect. There we go.
So let's
Cool.
back up and see what have we done here. We captured from a video initially all of the aspects that you needed from that video. You tweaked it, you cropped it, you rotated it, everything in Premiere initially. We outputted all of the sprites to individual image files. We then took those image files and we loaded them into our overlay, and we demonstrated that a test command can in fact cause that to happen. So the connectivity with our stream was working fine. In fact, other people were doing color shifted versions of that. We then came over into the WPF app and added an additional set of UI, which is now allowing us to control that hue, saturation, and brightness for both the primary and the secondary, and it's all into the stream as well. So pretty much end to end, fresh effect, fully controllable, fully on the board, in the stream, in 1 hour.
It's not bad. I'm going to.
That's pretty good. Yeah.
I'm just playing with different things that we can do here, right? On this one, I've made the brightness
film
of the
noir flame.
yeah, a little bit of that. Let's go. Yeah, you can take the saturation, for example, down to 0 on the back one. Oh, that's kind of cool too, right? Let's take the saturation down to like say 30. Let's make this go to like 290, and let's see what that looks like in the back. I want more color. There we go. Cool. And then let's make this one go to yellow, so that's at about 40. Yeah. So we got that one, Fireball, and here's the original Fireball we created, and here's the Fireball 2 effect, right? You can see that we've got pretty, what's neat about this approach is that we get these totally unique colors just by changing the numbers a bit, right?
Yeah.
That same kind of thing is happening no matter what, right? It's like, and it allows us to essentially reuse a set of resources. So
And your feedback loop for that is so quick that you can just experiment with numbers. I mean, if you had to re-render these images every time, that would be insane. You'd never bother going to the trouble of even trying.
Yeah.
So every time you make a process faster, we find new and innovative ways to use that process, more freedom to use that process in these new ways. It's a fantastic facility.
Yeah. I'm going to create a new one called Stars. I don't know if I showed these over here, but some of these are fun. Like the Stars one right here is kind of fun for if somebody is knocked out in the game. There we go.
That's cool, yeah.
Pretty cool. Okay, so that's it, guys. I'm going to call that the end of the show right there.
Okay.
And we'll give away a copy of CodeRushed. We do this every time. Every time you take a shot at .com, he says, new drinking game. Every time you hear Fireball, take a shot of Fireball.
Other drinks are available.
Yeah. Yeah, Will Bennett says, you need a new announcer phrase.
Questions.
I'm afraid I can't do that, Mark. Yeah. Is sex positive vacuuming? No.
That's on and off, no?
No.
Somebody else suggested that maybe the machine was working really intensely occasionally.
Interesting. Oh, you know what it is? Hold on. It's another machine near another microphone. And I just turned the second microphone off. You can still hear me, right, Rory?
Yeah, I can still hear you.
All right, so good. We're good on that. All right. So so with that, let's give away a copy of CodeRush. I'm using CodeRush right now, and it may not be obvious, but I am running inside Visual Studio 2019. So about Microsoft Visual Studio. Here's proof of it coming up. I'm expecting to see it. There you go. I'm in the 2019 preview of it.
CodeRush up and running, 2019, flawless again, just working.
Yeah,
Perfectly happy in its new environment.
We're all perfectly happy in our new environments. And there's an RC now as well, says Hugo. So so we'll take a look at that. Although I think I just installed this like yesterday or something like that, or the day before. So
Mere minutes old, but it's out of date.
yeah, it could be out of date. And we're basically, I'm writing code with CodeRush inside Visual Studio. You're watching me essentially live dog food the product 3 days a week normally. And yeah, Hugo says it's separate download install, but both preview and RC can coexist side by side. Gotcha. Okay, cool. I like that about the Microsoft Visual Studio team. They started doing this, I want to say, like in the 8 years ago, maybe. They started prioritizing this idea of their betas coexisting and being able to have side-by-side installs. I want to say about 8 to 10 years ago. And ever since they've done it, I continue to be impressed and happy that they're doing both of those. So so thanks so much. Thanks to everyone who's out there watching the show. Let's give away a copy of CodeRush. And because it's time for the
CodeRush giveaway.
And today's winner is going to drop from the Visual Studio menus up at the top. Let's look for it.
Vinyl Man.
Vinyl Man. You have won a copy of CodeRush. I will contact you via Twitch stream, and there we go. Back up into the Visual Studio menus where we'll find out tomorrow who wins. So I'm going to be here tomorrow. Rory can't make it tomorrow. We'll be writing code, and then I'm off to Vegas, speak at VS Live. And when we come back, we'll be blowing stuff up from the chat room with pyrotechnics, actual pyrotechnics. I totally anticipate that. That's my expectation. Hope to see you there. Thanks so much, Rory. Thanks, Will. Thanks, Hugo. Thanks, .commie, Cpayet. Thank you, everyone. Brian, thanks for stopping by. We will see you tomorrow.